Get ready because August is coming with some rich opportunities and challenges that ultimately lead to our growth. Hey y'all, I'm Jasmeen, the owner of House of Chiron, Astrology and Reiki, and I make the language of astrology digestible for all of y'all. So welcome to my channel, welcome in. If you are new here, go ahead, hit that subscribe button so you will not miss any of the things that I upload and share with you all throughout the month. All right, if you are returning, welcome back, welcome home, because we are diving into a new month of astrology energy, okay? So with that being said, if you are looking to get your readings, your astrology readings, your Reiki healing session, I am that person for you. Go ahead and hit that description box. You can find all that information on how you can book those services with yours truly. Yes, okay. Also, we have a free PDF guide that is on my website, and it kind of helps you understand the astrology lingo. So for all of you newbies who are here, we got something for you. Don't even worry about it, okay? Now, since we got that out the way, okay, let's dive into the astrology for August of 2024. The month of August is going to be giving us many opportunities. Some are going to be challenging, some not so much. Either way, everything that's going to be happening for us in the month of August is going to be helping us grow in one way or another, okay? So with that being said, we can just dive right on into the energy. And starting off the month, we have this Leo new moon that's happening at 12 degrees, right? So Leo, right? Think about Leo. Leo is regal. Leo is bold, is vibrant, right? It's very generous, warm, and loving. Leo is ruled by the sun. And so when we have a new moon, we have both the moon and the sun in a conjunction, meaning that they are together, same sign, same degree, at the same time. And they are creating this impactful opportunity for a new beginning. That's what creates a new moon, which is why I always say, and most astrologers say, new moons are a time to set new intentions because it represents a new beginning. Conjunctions of any kind, when it has a lot to do with any planet, represents a new beginning in regards to like whatever sign or whatever theme or characteristic that planet has. Now, in this case, it's Leo, right? Number one, that's the sign, the zodiac, but it's the sun, and the sun is the ruler of Leo. So it has a lot to do with leadership. It has a lot to do with your creative self-expression and just being able to have like the joy and the romance of life, your hobbies, and, you know, just embracing who it is that you are, your authenticity, right? So when you add that and you put it with the moon, which is about your internal security, right? So the sun is the expression of the external confidence, whereas the moon is the internal security, right? And you put those things together, and what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel comfortable, the self-care, the things that you truly enjoy, right? Those things in connection with this energy of this new moon is going to really be setting the tone for what it is to come, right? What intentions we're setting during this time needs to be done in the spirit of that, in the spirit of which aligns to who it is that we are, our true self-expression, our true identity, what it is that we truly want for our life, what is our desires and our passions, what's going to help us have a fruitful life moving forward, right? So we can see the manifestations of this new moon energy kind of panning out over the next 6 months, if not longer. So make sure you are very intentional about your intentions you're setting with this new moon. Now, it's going to be happening on August 4th at 6 in the morning, Central Time. All right, so apply that to whatever time zone you're in. And like I said, it's at 12 degrees. So it's right in the middle, almost in the middle of that Leo energy. And so with that, it's really that time to set those bold intentions. Go big or go home when you're setting your intentions, when you are expressing to the universe and to the Most High what it is that you want for your life. Go big or go home. It's bold or nothing at all, right? It's creative or it's lame. Let's just be real. Okay. So also keep in mind that this new moon is going to be making several different aspects, one of which is a sextile to Mars that is in Gemini along with Jupiter. So it's going to be sextiling both of those energies. Now, sextile is harmonious energy for the most part, right? And it is really affecting and amplifying our ambitions and our enthusiasm, right? The optimistic energy to go after what it is that we want. So this new moon is going to be hypercharged with that Mars energy in Gemini, that we can think it and then we can come up with a strategic plan, and then that Mars energy is helping us to actually do it. Jupiter is expanding on the optimism and our point of view of what we can see for ourselves. So it's a really great energy to really set new intentions for, especially being that fall is around the corner, the summertime is wrapping up very soon. And what is it that you want for the next 6 months ahead, if not longer, okay? Now, also, this is a period for us to really ignite our passions and start new creative pursuits, whatever they may be. If you are, holding on to something in the back of your mind, you've been wanting to like launch this new thing or start this new project or this new initiative, now's the time to set those intentions to get that done, or just start it, right? It's really a time that you are supported to start new things, okay? And just to go after it. So this energy is going to help us solidify and clarify our goals and our ambitions, and also the path that we are trying to get on, the path that we are actually on or trying to get on, okay? So that being said, let's mosey on over to Mercury station in retrograde. You already know we've been in the shadow phase, so you can already feel it. Mercury entered its home sign of Virgo at the end of July, and so now it's going to be stationed in retrograde also on August 4th, the same day that we have this new moon. All right, and so it'll be retrograde until August 28th. And it stations retrograde in the early degree of Virgo, since it just moved into the sign of Virgo. And because of that, it's going to dip back into the sign of Leo. And so from August 4th until August 28th, so roughly 3 weeks, Mercury is going to be going backwards over not only the first 4 degrees of what has been revealed to us in Virgo, but also the latter part of the Leo degrees that it hadn't went over, okay? So think about what's been going on since Mercury entered into Virgo on July 25th, it entered into Virgo. So from July 25th until August 4th, what has happened? What have you made plans towards? What initiatives or what critical details have you been needing to pay attention to, and they've been coming up to the surface? Now, once it dips back into Leo, we're going to be reviewing those last degrees of Leo, okay? And what happened during that time is going to come back up to the surface for us to review it yet again. So it's going to be a time of reflection, reassessment, reorganization, because it's happening in the sign of Virgo. But also it's going to be an internal look about who it is that we are, our self-expression. What is it that we desire to be? Being confident, reevaluating our confidence and that regal energy that we all have, feeling royal like a Leo. You get what I'm saying? So we're going to be reviewing all of those things, our creative self-expression, our identities, our authenticity, what brings us joy. And maybe even for those who have children, since that Leo energy is about the child or even just the inner child, that could be some themes that come up during that time also. Now, during the time that this retrograde starts, Mercury is going to be conjunct Venus and Virgo in about 4 degrees of an orb of one another. So it's not an exact conjunction, but it is a conjunction by degree. Okay, so with it being conjunct Venus and Virgo, that's supportive energy, but it also represents a new beginning, right? Because like I said, conjunctions represent new beginnings. So it's a new beginning, especially in regards to our values, our relationships, and our finances, and the things that just overall bring us pleasure, right? So we're going to be focusing on the themes of refining communication, refining our finances, kind of focusing on the details of our relationships and the things that we want for our life in these areas. And so keep in mind, there's also going to be another aspect, and this might not be as easygoing as the one that's conjunct with Venus. All right, so it's going to make it a square with Mars that's in Gemini. And so this is going to be suggesting more so potential conflicts and impulsive decision making because of what we think, or because we're missing the details, or because we need to really focus on the details instead of like the bigger picture of things. Or we just could really just be getting misinformation. So that impulsive action could be coming from the misinformation, because keep in mind, Mercury is going to be retrograde. So keep in mind that over this time, to pause, and reflect, reassess. I would not start anything new during this time. This is a time for you to review it before you launch or start any new projects during this time, right? So setting new intentions kind of goes against on the same day of this Mercury retrograde. So it's kind of like, maybe what we should be focusing on is bringing those things that we have previously worked on back to the forefront so we can actually get them going, right? Reviewing them, setting new intentions that we put some things to the side, or we've been asleep on this great idea, because keep in mind, you know, Mars is in Gemini, it's all about ideas. So we've been asleep on this idea. We haven't felt confident enough to do this thing. And now it's time to bring that back to the table, review, reassess, and put it out. So it's a great time to, you know, put new things out, or not necessarily new things, but things that you have previously worked on, right? You want to put it out, like a rebrand or something like that, starting those things. But during this time, it's like set the intention and review it. Make sure you're paying attention to the details, iron all the details out, and then allow it to start sometime after August 28th, okay? So keep that in mind. So how is this going to be impacting our individual lives? Is going to be various, right? Because of, you know, where Virgo is in your chart. So just be mindful of how you communicate during this time. Be mindful of the decisions that you're making, and make sure that you're paying attention to the details and that you're not skipping over those details. Misunderstandings might arise. Mercury rules things like your vehicle and all forms of communication. So that includes your phone, social media, mail, transportation, movement, anything like that. So get your car maintenance done, go change some tires, go get your oil changed, you know, the paperwork that, whatever paperwork that you need to get taken care of, go ahead and take care of that. This is just a reminder that you need to just get your ducks in a row and pay attention in that way. Now, also keep in mind, it moves back into the sign of Leo on August 14th. So it's going to be in Virgo from the 4th until the 14th. So we've got about 10 days of it retrograding in the sign of Virgo, and then it dips back into Leo on August 14th. And so this is an emphasis that's shifting us to revisit and realigning our passions and our self-expression. So that's what I was previously talking about. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right. Just embrace those mindfulness practices and everything will be fine. All right. So that being said, mosey on into Venus, into Virgo, okay? And so Venus enters into Virgo also on August 4th until August 29th. So we got a lot happening at the very beginning of this month. So, you know, just be aware of that. All right, so Venus in Virgo is not feeling at its best. It's going to be very hypercritical of like its appearance, and it's going to be paying attention to too many details, right? And it could get very like in the weeds of things, right? Instead of just appreciation. So just kind of be aware that that could be something that we all experience. Really what we should be focusing on is the practicality of things, right? The service that we provide to other people. So it's the servitude to one another. And also the detail in our affections, right? Instead of being critical. So, well, you know, that nagging feeling, you know, instead of that, just kind of like pay attention to the detail in your affections with others. Now, this period with Venus being in Virgo is going to emphasize the need for purity and perfection, but, you know, in relationships, but also within our finances and just the aesthetics of things. So just don't get into the weeds of how things need to look when it comes to your relationships or your finances, but instead think about how you can create what you desire in a practical way without being hypercritical, okay? Now, there's some things to kind of keep in mind with Venus being in the sign of Virgo. On August 19th, it's going to make a square to Jupiter that's in Gemini. So that's going to create some tension between what we want and how much we have, and trying to overly consume things, right? A lot of people say, oh, you know, nothing negative can happen when you are making an aspect with Jupiter. And that may very well be true in some degree. But when you have a square to think anything really, even in Jupiter, since Jupiter is the great benefic, what it can actually do is create an overabundance of things, which is where you get overindulgence, right? And so Venus squaring Jupiter might give you an over-idealized like eye to things. You might bite off more you can chew. You might you know, basically think you have a certain amount of money for something and you forgot about a bill. So now you've overspent. You have to reconcile that mistake. So that's just like a practical example of how this can manifest with that Venus squaring Jupiter. And so our desire can be one thing, but we could desire more than what we can actually handle and then get more than what we can handle and don't realize it till after the fact. And it's like, okay, dang. All right. So also on the 19th, August 19th, Venus is going to be opposite Saturn. That's retrograde in Pisces. So that challenge is going to be between the balance between idealism and reality, right? So that's also playing a part in this Venus square Jupiter in Gemini. So like I said, you might bite off more than you can chew, or you might romanticize a thing, especially relationships during this time. You might romanticize a thing and see it for what you want it to be, or see it for the potential of something instead of what it actually is. So keep that in mind. Then on August 22nd, Venus is going to square Mars in Gemini. So that there potentially lead to like conflicts within your relationships or conflicts within your finances. August 27th, Venus is then going to start trining Uranus, that's in Taurus. So this is favorable energy. It might bring unexpected developments within your relationships. Like it might be an exciting time for your relationship, or unexpected windfalls of money could be coming through, or something along those lines. And then on August 28th, Venus is going to be opposite Neptune retrograde. So this might cause a little confusion when it comes to love matters, because Neptune has the ability to create illusions and, you know, it's the smoke screen. You might get surprised by something later on because you're not paying attention or able to see the truth of something at this time, okay? So just focus on self-care during this time that Venus is in Virgo. Align your routines to your values. Make sure the work that you're involved in and the services that you're providing to others aligns to your values. Use this time to declutter your space, organize, create an environment that's really promoting peace and practicality, but also productivity, because that is the Virgo way, okay? Now, moving on, we're going to be having the full moon at 27 degrees in Aquarius. So I didn't mention this before with the new moon. So this new moon in Leo, I'm going to go into a deep dive in a live stream, and I'm doing this every month. We have a live stream for the moon, so the new moon and the full moon. And I'll be going into a deep dive for all of these, and I'll be giving readings for all 12 zodiac signs. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you won't miss that, because I'll be giving live readings, and then you have the opportunity to ask me questions. But right now, this is just a brief overview of this full moon energy. It's going to be happening at 27 degrees Aquarius on August 19th. And so with this full moon, you know, it's really shining a light on our individuality and our community, because that is the Aquarian way, right? What are we doing? How are we involved in the community? What does our community look like? What do we want the sense of community to look like for us individually, but also collectively, because it's the Aquarian way. All right, so this moon is going to be forming a T-square. So T-squares, they provide tension, and, you know, ultimately it kind of helps us grow in another area later on down the line. But this is a full moon, so something is coming to a head, and it's coming to a head in an intense way. Something is being illuminated. Something in the shadows is coming to the light. And so this T-square is happening with the sun that's in Leo, the moon that's in Aquarius, and Uranus that's in Taurus. So all the fixed signs, right? So it's a very stubborn energy, and it's trying to break free and make some change and create some liberation, and it's not trying to budge. Something is coming to a head, and there's going to be some type of breakthrough. Now, this could manifest in a positive light. This could manifest very intensely. However, it just depends on how this is aspecting your individual chart with your personal planets and whatnot. But ultimately, it's urging us to balance personal expression and our collective needs, right? It's also trying to help us break free from the status quo. It's trying to help us break free from something that is mundane and outdated also. So there's also going to be another T-square that's happening, and it's not with the moon. However, the T-square is involving Venus that's in Virgo. We just talked about that. Jupiter and Mars that are both in the sign of Gemini, and Saturn that's a retrograde in Pisces. So this is happening with the mutable sign. So the fixed energy is going to be happening where it's not really ready for change, but there's a breakthrough, something is crumbling. And then we have this mutable energy that's going to be forcing this change to happen. So all of this is happening all at the same time on the same day. And this is adding layers of tension and growth opportunities. And it's going to be kind of like a configuration that's challenging us to harmonize our desires with our responsibilities, right? What it is that we want versus what it is that we have to do in order to get what we want, in order to actually appreciate and enjoy what we want, our desires, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. So, it's a good time to kind of connect with your people, engage in community projects, and think about your overall goals, right? The Aquarian way. Think about what you want to see, not only for you, but for the collective, okay? Now, moving on, we have Virgo season. So happy solar return to all of you Virgos. That is happening on August 22nd until September 22nd. So the sun is moving into Virgo. So our focus will be shifting on practical things, our health and, our daily routines. Around this time, school is starting for most of the nation of the United States. So, school is starting around this time, whether it's, lower level education or higher education, school starts around this time. So we're going to be really practical thinking about our daily routines, our health, the things that we need to do, our schedules. If you're a parent like I am, you're going to be busy because I'm in school and my kids going to be in school. So it's going to be a little bit intense. Plus all these retrogrades, it's a lot. So just make sure that you're slowing down, you're paying attention to the detail, that you're organizing, that you're creating a plan, your meal plans and your daily plans, your schedule, getting your alarm clocks, doing all the things that you need to do, health, organization, and the services that you're providing to others as well as within your family and your community. Virgo season is going to be encouraging us to refine our routines so that way we can strive for efficiency, okay? Now, moving forward, Mercury is going to be stationing direct at 21 degrees Leo. So, like I mentioned previously, Mercury stationed retrograde at 4 degrees Virgo. So it started reviewing those first 4 degrees of what was being presented to us in the sign of Virgo during that time. So from July 25th until August 4th, it's a review of that Virgo energy. And then it dipped back into the sign of Leo on August 14th. So from August 14th until August 28th, it's going to be retrograding back through that Leo energy from the 29th degree until the 21st degree. So we have about a good 8 or 9 degrees of review. So during that time from, when Mercury was first transiting over 21 degrees Leo, when it was direct before it moved into Virgo, there are things that were coming up about our self-expression and about what we want and who we are and yada, yada, yada. And we're going to be reviewing those things, right? How can we make those things happen? Now Mercury is stationing to move forward on the 28th, and it's going to give us some momentum where we can start taking action on the things that we've reviewed and reassessed about ourselves, our identity, our authenticity, our desires, the things that bring us joy and happiness, and maybe even our children, if that's applicable to you. So while this shift is happening, Mercury is going to be square Uranus and Taurus. So there's like this tension, but also liberating energy that's going to be present. And it's going to be bringing us sudden insights and possibly disruption. So there could be some major disruption, major change that's happening with this forward movement, this momentum of Mercury going through Leo. So you could take off and have like some unexpected developments or receive some unexpected news about what needs to happen and what needs to occur with this energy. There's definitely going to be some opportunities for growth. So embrace those insights that you're having that we will be having while Mercury is retrograde. And then also being able to apply the adjustments as necessary with practicality and a bold approach, right? Very confident approach. So that way, once it stations direct, we can take action, okay? So just revisit your creative projects and your communication plans and just doing things in a very practical yet bold manner, okay? Now, Venus is going to be leaving Virgo and entering into the sign of Libra on August 29th until September 23rd. So we have about a good month of Venus being at home in the sign of Libra. So this is really good energy. And Venus in Libra is all about art and beauty and music and balance and harmony and love and relationships, right? Venus is the ruler of Libra as well as Taurus. But in Libra is about union and contracts and our commitments and our agreements, but it's also beauty and art and all those other things that like Taurus is. And so, these things are going to be emphasized, right? Harmonious relationships. And during this transit, Venus is going to be opposing Neptune that's retrograde in Pisces. So urging us to balance that idealism with the reality within our connections and our finances and our art and our expression and the things that make us feel good and so on and so forth. Okay. Now on a relationship insight aspect of this, because it's Libra and it's all about marriage and commitments and agreements, focus on constructive conflicts, right? What is conflict resolution and what does that look like for you in your relationship? Focus on that. Deep emotional experiences could be coming up to the surface, and that is mostly due because there's going to be a trine to Uranus that's in Taurus, right? So although we're going to be having like these excitements and this innovative approach to our relationship, you know, there could be some unexpected emotions and things and experiences that come up to the surface to tell us, hey, this is where we need to find balance and harmony in our relationships. But it also can kind of, you know, pan out with our finances too. It just depends on, once again, how this is aspecting your individual chart. And if you are looking to see how any of these transits are aspecting your individual chart, you know where to find me, description box, come get a reading. Cool. All right, so that is the last transit that I have to talk about for the month of August. So I hope that this has been beneficial and helpful for you all. And before I give you my final thoughts, let's go ahead and roll the dice for the month of August and see what message from the divine we have. Oh, this is beautiful. So we have the North Node. That's interesting. We have the North Node in Gemini in the 7th house. So it's about creating new friendships and new relationships, new commitments, really focusing on how we relate to others and what our agreements are. What agreements are we making? Really leaning into that, right? And so, you know, especially what I just read about Libra, and then we have all this energy that's in Gemini, and then the 7th house is commitments, agreements, contracts. So maybe some of us are going to be signing new contracts, making new agreements, you know, making a new best friend, maybe even getting married, because, you know, 7th house, North Node, it's possible. Some of us could be getting engaged. You never know. So that could be that. So yeah, just really lean into your community, lean into who it is that you have for support around you, and also who needs your support. Focus on your relationships, your interpersonal connections with other people. So it's really a time in this world right now that we just lean on one another and work together. So yeah, that's what this is saying. So real quick final thoughts. Just know that August is a month that is really active. We have retrogrades. We have planets shifting and moving and doing the absolute most. They moonwalking from one sign to the next. And we're just going to have to roll with the punches. You know, be resilient. We got this. And just align ourselves with what's happening for us. Okay. So that is all that I have. Make sure that you hit that description box and book your Reiki appointment. Make sure you book your astrology sessions. I have 30-minute and 60-minute slots available. Also, I have a plethora of Reiki appointments. So I have like 4 or 5 different types of Reiki sessions that you can book. Also get your free PDF guide at the link as well. Once you go onto my website, just put your email in, you get an email back that says, hey, download here. And merch. You can still buy merch. Hats, shirts, hoodies, beanies, whatever. It's all there. Okay. House of Chiron stuff. And yeah, I think that's it. I want y'all to have a wonderful month of August. Don't forget to subscribe, share, comment. I love to talk to y'all. I'm a Gemini after all. And meet me here for the new moon that is happening in the sign of Leo on August 1st. I will be live at 6 p.m. Okay, Central Time. So I'll put out a notice on that very soon. Talk to you